what is meant by exception handling. Okay, so what is meant by exception handling is, suppose what is meant by exception I ask you. So anyone can tell me what is meant by exception? What is meant by
Nothing
exception?
but a bug.
Yes.
Uh, it is
In
unwanted.
real life, what we can say, which is exception? See, exception means what? Suppose unwanted or unexpected event that disturbs our normal flow of the execution. Okay. Suppose our daily routine is, suppose we are daily coming to this set. So what we'll do? First we'll wake up, then we will ready for the office. We will take our bike and we will come to this search. Okay. But suddenly what happened? One day your bike got punctured. So that is exception or that is error. Why? Why it is not error? Yes. 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 Exception means it is an unwanted or unexpected event, right? And our daily routine is still we are wake up, we will ready for the office, we will take our bike and we will coming to this search, right? But one day what happened? Our bike got punctured, so it is disturbs our normal flow of our execution, right? It is disturbs our normal flow. That is only called as the exception. Suppose our daily routine is to we are coming to the office daily, right? And sometimes our bike got punctured means it will disturb our normal flow. That is only called as the exception. But what is meant by exception and what is meant by error? Suppose your bike got punctured, so can you will not come to the office?
Yes.
Yes or no?
So will come.
If your bike got punctured, so can you will come or not come?
Come by using another bug.
Yes, by using another bike, or you will take the auto, or you will come by the walk also. But you will come, right? Suppose you had an accident. I'm not telling you will had the accident. Suppose you had the accident. So what will that call? Exception or error?
Error.
Error or exception?
Error.
Suppose you had accident, so you will not able to come to the search, right? You have to go to the hospital, right? That is the error. Means error means an error and exception both are the unwanted events only that disturbs our normal flow of the execution, right? Inside the Java also, if you see this program, if you write any program here, our program will run from top to bottom. Okay, and suppose the program is running from top to bottom, sometimes some exception come or some unwanted event will come and disturbing our normal flow of the program. That is only called as the exception. See here, suppose I am writing here system dot out here, and here I am writing one. Okay, and after that I will copy this thing. Here I am paste text. Okay, and here I am writing 2 3. Here I am writing 3 and then 4 5 6 7. If I run this one, so what will be the output you will get it here? Yes, yes, what will be the output you will get? 1 to 7, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 we are getting on the console. Now suppose here I am writing, that is the 100 divided by 2. So now what will be the output you will get it here? First 1,
2, 3,
then
50.
2, then and here 50. Okay, here 5 6 7, right? If I run this one, so this type we are getting on the console. Just we are getting 50 here, right? Now suppose I am writing this time, that is the 50. Now if I run this one means 1 2 3, then 25, then 5 6 7. Means our normal flow of program is not disturbed this time, right? But now see, if I writing 50 divided by 0, now yes, 1 2 3, then what happen if we divide any number with 0? Yes, 5 6 7 is also there. If I run this one, see, so 1 2 3 will be print or not?
Yes.
5 6 7 will print or not?
No.
Yes or no? 1 2 3 is printing, then it is giving the error. So why error not? It is giving the exception. Which exception it is giving? That is the arithmetic exception. Which exception it is giving? That is the arithmetic exception. And divide by 0. Why we are getting the exception here? Right? Why we are getting the exception? That is the description it is giving, because we divided by 0. That's why we are getting the exception here. So see here, this is our normal flow of execution, right? This is a normal flow of execution. and during the runtime we are getting the exception here, right? If you run the program, that time we are getting one exception here, and that is disturbing our normal flow of the program. See, 567 is not printing here. Why it is not printing? Because some unexpected or unwanted event came here, right? Unexpected or unwanted exception, expected or event is came here. That's why our normal flow of execution is disturbs here, and that's why we are getting here the exception. Okay, that's why we are getting the exception. So if you want to handle this one, so how to handle that? Okay, exception and error both are the same thing, but both have the same another meaning. Okay, exception means that can be handled. Okay, exception means it is an unwanted or unexpected event only, and error also unwanted or unexpected event only, but exception we can handle, but error we cannot be handled. So this is the exception. If you want to handle that, we can handle with the help of try, catch, finally, throw or throws. Okay, but if error will become here, but that we cannot handle. Suppose if I want to print something and printer is not there, so that is the error or exception? Error or exception? Suppose I want to print something, but printer is not there, so can we able to print that? No, right? That is a error only, right? Suppose if you take another example, suppose I want to see something on the computer, but monitor is not there, so that is exception or error? That is the error only, right? So this is the difference between the exception and error. Exception that can be handled, and error that cannot be handled. Okay, exception occur because of the program. Okay, exception is occur because of the program, but error occur because of the lack of system resources. Like if you want to print something, printer is not there. If you want to see something, monitor is not there. Okay, so that like that. And if you want to type something, keyboard is not there, so that is called as the error. Error we cannot be handled, but exception we can be handled. That means that error are the recoverable, but error is not recoverable. Okay, after that, exception have the two types. There is compile time exception, and another one is the runtime exception. Compile time exception we can also call that checked exception, and runtime exception we can also call this as a unchecked exception. Error are only one type. There is all runtime exception or the unchecked exception are come into the error only. Okay, all the runtime exception or unchecked exception are comes into the error only. Now if you want to see the hierarchy, this is the hierarchy of our Java exception class. Okay, this is the hierarchy of our Java exception class. 1 minute. These are hierarchy of the exception class. First, which is the parent class here? Object. After that, throwable. Then exception and the error. We have two classes, exception and error. Inside the exception class, we have a many exception like IO exception, no such method exception, SQL exception, remote exception, then interrupt exception. These all are the exception here. Here runtime exception means inside the runtime exception we have multiple exception like arithmetic exception, class cast, null pointer, index out of bound. These all are the runtime exception. In this blue color line, okay, this blue color line, these all are the compile time exception, and this red color line, these all are the runtime exception, and these all are the error here. Okay, these all are the error here, and some unchecked exception are come into the error only. Okay, unchecked exception are came into the error only. See, just now we saw one example, and here which error we are getting here, which exception we are getting here? That is the arithmetic exception, right? Arithmetic exception means which type of exception is this? That is the runtime exception we are getting here. Okay, and always remember that we have two types of exception, right? That is the compile time exception and runtime exception. Multiple people will think like that, what is meant by compile time exception and what is meant by runtime exception. So multiple people thinks like that, the exception which is come at the compile time, that is called as the compile time exception, and the exception which come at the runtime, that is called as the runtime exception. That is not the thing. Okay, exception will always come into the runtime, not at the compile time. Okay, exception will always come into the runtime, exception will not come into the compile time. Okay, this is the thing you have to remember. After that, here this is the hierarchy. Inside the hierarchy we have multiple exception. We will see while we are doing the program. No, that time you will easily understand which type of exception in all of the things. Okay, if I tell you me all of the things one by one means it will take lots of time. Okay, it will take lots of time. So while doing the program only, we will see, we will know which type of exception is this, which type of exception we are getting, and why we are getting that exception. We all know that. All these things we know. See here, we have one exception, that is the array index out of bound exception. Why we are getting this error exception? When we are getting this exception?
Size exceed.
Yes. Suppose we have declared the array with the 5. And if we are adding this sixth element there, so which type of exception we are getting here? Is the array index out of bound. Same like that, we have a string index out of bound here. After that, null pointer exception is not there. Arithmetic exception, no such method, SQL exception. This all the exception you have to see. Okay, while we are doing the program, one by one exception will become, and you will be easily understand. Now, exception is came. Suppose exception is came here. So what will be the procedure? What is happening inside? We have to see that. So when exception is come here, so that time what it will be do? JVM first abnormally terminate the program here only. Okay, what JVM will do? First step, it will abnormally terminate. Okay, abnormally terminate the program here only. If exception will come, so what JVM will do? First step, abnormally it will terminate the program here only. Means see, suppose JVM come here, it is see the exception, it will be abnormally terminate the program here only. If it is abnormally terminating the program here, so can we able to see 5, 6, 7 here? It will not print because JVM already abnormally terminate the program here only. That's why we cannot able to see 5, 6, 7 is printing on the console. See, we are only seeing here that is the 1, 2 and 3. Suppose now this time this exception is coming on. Suppose now this exception is coming on this line. Now what will be the output we are seeing here? Only 1, 2 will be not print. 3, 5, 6, 7. No. Suppose I am writing here that is the 10. Now first 1, then here 5, then here 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. If I run this one, so 1, then 2, 5, 6, 1, 5, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 on printing on the console. Suppose if I want to print this all the things, so what we need to do? Okay, suppose I want to print these things, what we need to do? Suppose exception means what I told, unwanted or unexpected event that will that will disturb server normal flow of the program. So here this is our normal flow of program, and unexpected unwanted event is came here. Now if I want to handle that, how we will handle that? If we take the real life example, bike puncture. So that time what we saw, if our bike will puncture, we will take the alternative way, right? If our bike will puncture, we will take an alternative way, like suppose if our bike will puncture, so we will take auto or we will come by the walk. But here what we will do? Here what we will need to do? So here if you want to handle that, we can handle with the help of try and the catch block or the finally throw and the throw. These are the keywords which is used to handle this exception. Okay. Now if exception is came, so that time what will happen? First step is that JVM will abnormally terminate the program. After that, what it will do? Next step is that the method in which exception is came. Okay, the method in which exception is came, that method will create an object. So, in which method exception came now? What is the name of that method? Main method. The main inside the main method exception is came. Okay. First step is that is the JVM will abnormally terminate the program. And another thing is that the method in which exception came, that method will create an object. So in now in which method exception came? Inside the main method. So we will create an object. Main method, right? Main method will create an object. Okay, it will create an object, and inside that object it will add three things. Okay, now I will come to the paint here. I will show you. Okay, so what it will be do? The method in which exception is came, that method will create an object like that, and inside that object it will add three things. So which are that three things it will be add? So first thing is that it will be add, that is the exception name. Another thing is that there is description, and another one is that is the stack. So first thing what it will be add? Exception name. Okay, after that description, and after that track stack trace. Okay, so who is created this object? Who is created this object? Main method. The method in which exception is came, that method will be create an object. So now sorry, here exception is not came. Now it will become. Okay, so now this time the exception is came into the main method. So JVM will come here first. After that first step, what is the first step? It will be abnormally terminate the program here only. It will abnormally terminate the program here only. After that, which is the next step? The method in which exception is kept. Okay, the method in which exception is kept, that method will create an object, and inside that object it will add three things. So which are that three things? First step, first thing is that is the exception name. Another thing is that there is description. Another thing is that there is the stack trace. Okay, three things it have added. Now what it will be do? Now object is created. So now what it will be do? Now JVM come into the picture again. Okay. Now JVM will come into the picture again, and JVM will ask to that method. Okay. The exception is came into that method. No. JVM will ask to that method again. Do you handling the exception or not? Okay, JVM will ask to this main method, do you handling the exception or not? So can this method is handling the exception here? Try catch on and on. We are seeing here, no, right? We are not seeing anything here. So what it will be do? The JVM will ask to this main method, do you handling the exception or not? So we are not writing any try catch finally throw or throws. Okay, so what this method will say? No, I am not handling this exception. So what it will be say now? What it will be do now? JVM will take this object. Okay, the object it have created now. Okay, the object it have created, JVM will take this object and it will give that object to the default exception handler, and default exception handler will simply print that object. And if you run this program on the console, see if I run this one, you run on the Java application. So we are getting here three things. First thing is that is the exception name. So see here what we are getting here, that is the exception name, that is the arithmetic exception. After that another thing is that is the description, why exception came. Okay, why exception came, the description we also give. So why we are getting divide by 0. After that another thing is that is stack trace, in which line, in which package, and in which class exception occur, that all the things will be print on the stack trace. So see here, at basic program is my package name, test is my class name, main is my method name. On which line we are getting the exception? On 8th line. See here, on 8th line we are getting the exception, that all the things will be present on the stack trace. Okay, that all the things will be printing on the stack. This is the internal, all the things I'm telling, these all are the internal things. Okay, so if exception will come, how exception will be shown on the console, these all are the internal things. So first thing is that if exception will come, so what will happen first? It JVM will abnormally terminate the program there only. Okay, JVM will abnormally terminate the program there only. After that another thing is that abnormally terminate the program. After that what it will do, the method in which exception is occur, that method will create an object. So which method will create an object now? That is the main method, because exception is came into the main method. So main method will create an object. So main method created the object, and inside that object it will add three things. What is the first thing? Exception name. Another thing, another thing, stack trace. So here which is the exception name? That is the arithmetic exception. What is, which is the description? Divide by 0. And which is the stack trace? Add basic programs, then test main, and then test.java. Okay, this is the thing will happen if you are not handling any exception. But now if I want to handle the exception, so what we will do that? So manually handle. And why we are handling the exception? Because if unwanted or unexpected event will come, our normal flow of execution will not disturb. Okay, if we don't want to disturb our normal flow of execution, that's why we are handling the exception here. Suppose you are daily come to the office, and if your bike got punctured, so you will find the another way, like if you come by the walk and if you take the auto. Same like that will take here the another way or alternative way. And remember one thing, if exception will come, okay, if exception will come, we are not repairing that exception or we are not removing that exception. Simply we will find the alternative ways to handle that exception. Okay, we are not repairing that exception or we are not removing that exception. Simply we are only finding the alternative ways to handle that exception. Suppose here exception will come, so what we'll do, we are not repairing, we are not repairing anything, or we are not removing anything from here. So what we are doing here only, just we are finding the alternative ways to handle this exception. To handle this exception we have five things: try, catch, finally, throw, and throw. So now how to handle the exception with the help of try catch, first we will see that. So how to write a try catch? If I want to tell the syntax of the try catch, first we will write here try, curly braces open, curly braces close. After that we need to write a catch, then parenthesis open, parenthesis close, then curly braces open, then curly braces close. Okay, this is the syntax of our try and the catch. So inside the try block, what we will write? So inside the try block, we will write a risky code. So which is the risky code? Suppose I am writing some code, and suppose in this line maybe exception will be occur. Okay, in this line I thought like in this line maybe exception will occur. So So this is the risky line for us. So what I will do, this line I will write into the try block. Okay, this is the risky code. Inside the try block, what we are writing, that is the risky code. After that, inside the catch block, what we are writing. So inside the catch block, we are writing here handling code. Okay, handling code or alternative way we can write into the catch block. And inside the catch parenthesis, what we are writing here, that is the exception name or exception class we are writing, and after that here we are writing the reference variable, exception class name and reference variable we are writing into the catch block. So it is easy only. Now we'll see the program here. Suppose we are writing here one program. If I run this once, we are getting the exception and only one is printing on the console. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 is not printing on the console because unwanted or unexpected event is came here. That is the exception is came here. That's why we are not getting here 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 on the console. Now, if I want to print that, how we will print that? We will not remove this thing or we will not repairing this thing. Only we are finding the alternative way to handle this exception. So how we will handle that? So with the help of try and the catch, we will handle that exception. So what is the syntax for the try? So first we need to write a try. Then parenthesis curly brace open, curly braces close. Right? Inside the try block, what we need to write here? See here. What we need to write? Risky code. So which is the risky code here? In which line exception is came? In this line, right? In this line exception is came. So this line I will write into the try block. So this is the risky line we are writing on into the try block. After that, with the try, what we need to write? Catch blocks I will write here. The catch block. And inside the catch block, what we need to write? Any exception name or exception class name we can write. Either you can write here directly the exception, because exception is a parent class of the all the exception which are created inside the Java. Okay, exception is a parent class of the all the exception which are created inside the Java. See here, this is the parent class, right? Exception is the parent class, and this IO exception, no such method, this SQL exception, arithmetic class, cast exception, these all are the child classes here. But which is the parent class here? That is exception class is a parent class of the all the exception which are present inside the Java. And which is the parent class of the all the classes inside the Java?
Object.
Object is a parent class of the all the classes which are present inside the Java. Okay. So is the exception here. Okay. You can directly write this exception class, or you can write the exception which are coming. So which exception is coming here? Arithmetic exception. See here, arithmetic exception is coming. So you can write here arithmetic exception as well. But this is a child class. If you want to write a parent class also, so you can write here the parent class as well. I will tell you what is the difference between them. Okay. Now suppose I am writing here system.out, and here I am writing simply hello. Okay. Anything I am writing here. So suppose I am writing hello this time. Now if I run this one, so what will be the output we are getting on the console? Yes. First one will be print or not? One will be print or not? Yes. After that, this line it will be checked. 15 divided by 0. So what we are getting here? Exception. Arithmetic exception we are getting. So can it will be come into the catch block or not? Catch block. Yes, it will be come into the catch block. Then 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It will be print on the console. Mean what it will print? 1, then hello, then 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. So when JVM will come into the catch block, so whenever will exception will come into the try block, that time only JVM will come into the catch block. Otherwise, JVM will not come into the catch block. If I run this one, see what we are getting here. There is the first we are getting here. There is 1. Then we are getting the hello. Then 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Just we are finding the alternative ways to handle this exception. Can I have removed this exception? Can I have removed this exception? No. No, right? I have not removed the exception. Can I repair this exception? No, right? We are not repair the exception also. Just I find the alternative ways to handle this exception. Okay, I am telling to JVM, suppose if exception will come here, you can directly come into the catch block. Okay, if exception will come, directly you can come into the catch block. I am saying to the JVM that I am finding the alternative ways to handle this exception. That is only called as the exception handling. Okay, this is only called as the exception handling. Now suppose if I am writing here 10 divided by 15 divided by 10. Now what will be the output we will getting on the console? Hello will be print or not? Yes or no? When it will be come into the catch block? When exception will be come, that time only it will come into the catch block. Okay. If exception will not come, it will not come into the catch block. Suppose I am writing, if I run this one now, so what we are getting here? There is 1 we are getting here. After that, 5 we are getting, then 2, then 3, then again 5, 6, 7 we are getting on the console. Suppose I remove this try from here and I will remove this catch from here. Now what will be getting on the console? 1, then 1, then 5, then 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Suppose if I remove this 1 from also here. Now 1, 1, then exception 1 or and then we are getting only the exception. So if I write like that and if exception will come, so our program is abnormally terminating here, but we don't want like that. We don't want to disturb our normal flow of execution. So for that, what we are writing here, we are simply writing here try and the catch blocks. What we are telling to the JVM, if exception will come into this line, okay, if any time exception will come into this line, you cannot abnormally terminate the program. You can directly come into the catch block. Don't abnormally terminate the program here only. Directly you can come into the catch block. We are saying to the JVM. Okay, so JVM doing same thing here. It will see first check, that is the one we are printing on the console. After that it will come here. Here we are getting the exception. Here we are writing try and catch. So what we are telling to the JVM, if exception will come, you can directly come into the catch block. See, it will be directly come into the hello. It will come into the catch block. It will print on the console, that is the hello, and it will print 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so this is the use of our try and the catch block. So what will happen if exception will come? So first JVM will come here and JVM will abnormally terminate the program there only. And after that, the method in which exception will come. Okay, the method in which exception will come, that method will create an object. In that object, it will add three things. So which are that three things? First thing is that exception name. Another thing is that another thing is that stack frame. Okay, three things it will be add on this object. Now object is created and program is abnormally terminated. Now what is the another thing? What is the another thing? JVM will ask to that method. Okay, JVM will ask to that method, do you handling the exception or not? Okay, JVM will ask to this method, do you handling the exception or not? So this time we are handling the exception or not? Yes, we are handling the exception. This method will say yes, I am handling the exception. So now what it will be do, it will become here, and whatever things we are writing on the handling code, it will be print on that console. Okay, whatever things we are writing for the handling the code, it will print that code on the console. So what we are writing in handling code, that is hello, so it will print that hello on the console. If I run this one, see, so hello, it is printing on the console. Okay, so anyone have any doubt till here? Anyone have any doubt? Yes or no? Yes, bro. Yes, bro. No, no doubt. Anyone have any doubt? Yes or no? Can I tell again? Yes or no? No? Okay. Okay. Suppose see, I am writing first except first I am writing here, that is exception, and after that I am writing another catch here. Okay, and here I am writing arithmetic exception, and here I am writing suppose system dot out, and here I am writing that is the 2. So, hello 2. Can we able to write like that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no? Can we able to write multiple catch with the single try? Multiple catch can be able to write with the single catch? Yes, we can able to write. But suppose if you are writing first parent class and after that you are writing the child class, so that is not possible because you are writing here parent class. Inside the parent class, all the child class will be present. If you see here into the hierarchy, this is the parent class. That is, this is the exception is a parent class. And inside the exception class, all the child class cast exception, no such method exception, arithmetic exception will also come into this exception part. Right. So if this arithmetic exception is coming here inside this catch block only, so why we are writing the another catch block? Okay, so that's why it is not allowing that. Suppose if I write here the another child class, any child class will take. Suppose I am writing here, there is the class cast exception. Okay, I am writing this thing here. So now can we able to write multiple catch with the single try? Yes, right. We can able to write here. Suppose class cast exception will come here into this line, so it will become here into the catch block. Suppose arithmetic exception will come into this line, so it will become into the arithmetic exception block. Okay, so we can able to write multiple catch with this single try. Okay, now with this single try, can we able to write multiple catches? Suppose I am writing multiple try catch with the single with the single catch. Okay, I am writing multiple try with the single catch. Can we able to write that? Can we able to write that multiple try with the single catch? Yes or no? No, we cannot able to write that. We can able to write multiple catch block with the single try, but we cannot able to write multiple try block with the single catch block. Okay, so this is the all about try and the catch block. Okay, and when will be catch block will be execute?
Exception.
When exception will come. When exception will come into the try block, that time only catch block will be executed. If exception will not come into the try block, then catch block will not execute. Suppose another thing we are taking here. System.out I am writing again here. Why I moved? Okay. I am writing here suppose 2. Okay, 2 I am writing. And after that here system.out I am writing again. And here I am writing 3. Okay. So what will be print on the console now?
2, 3, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Yes. 1, then 2, then 3, then 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 we are printing on the console, right? If I print this thing 1, 2, then 3, 2, 3 we are printing on the console now. Suppose here I am writing now that is the 100 divided by 0. Now
1, 3,
1, then 1,
1 after that 3.
after that 3 or not?
No.
Why?
Exception is catching it.
We are writing in the try block, no? So it will not print 3. It will print or not? Yes or no? No or yes? Yes. If I run this one, so only one is printing. 3. Why it is not? Oh, suppose. Sorry. Arithmetic exception. Now if I print this one, so 3 will be print on the console or not? 1, then hello directly printing, then 2, 3, 5 it is printing on the console. That 3 is not printing, this 3 is printing. Okay, so why this 3 is not printing on the console? Because see, GVM will come here, it is printing 1 on the console. After that, here we are going into the try block. Inside try block, what we are writing here? See, inside try block, what we are writing? That is the risky code. So it will come here, and this is our risky code. If exception will come, by what we are telling to the JVM, if exception will come here, directly you can go into the catch block. Okay, if exception will come here, directly you can go into the catch block. So if exception is come here, JVM will directly come into the catch block, and it will be ignore this line. Okay, it will not execute this line, it will directly come into the catch block. Okay, and whatever things we are writing after the exception, that line will not execute. Okay, so try to write try do not write any line after the exception. Try to write after the catch block. Okay, try to write after the catch block, do not write any line there only. Okay, so this is the thing for the try and the catch block. So anyone have any doubt till here? Anyone have any doubt? So why we are using the try block? For writing the which code? Risky code. And why we are writing the catch block? For writing the handling code, right? If you want to write any handling code, for that we are writing here the exception. Sorry, for that we are writing here the catch block. Another thing is that we saw just now, that is the try and the catch, right? We are writing here that is the try and the catch block, and after that we have a finally also. So finally is a very normal thing. Finally is we can write anytime, means it will be execute every time. Okay, if exception will come up or exception will not come, finally will execute at all the time. So what is the use of the finally? Okay, so what is the use of the finally? Can I tell today or can I tell tomorrow? Why, bro? Okay, so I will tell you into the short only. I will tell you into the. Okay, so suppose I am writing here finally, and as I told you, finally execute all the times. Okay, if exception will come or exception will not come, finally will execute at all the time. Suppose I am writing here finally. Okay, first I am writing 100 divided by 0, then hello we are writing, then finally we are writing, and after that suppose we are writing system.out. Here I am writing 2. Okay, so this thing I am writing here. We will print this one on the console. So what will be the value we are getting on this? First we are getting 1. Then hello we will get it on the console or not? After that finally and 2. If I run this one, so 1, then hello, then finally we are getting on the console. Right. After that here suppose exception will not come in. Now 1 5 here,
Finally,
1 5 5 or 2
two.
2 no, if divide 100 divided by 50 means 2, right? Here 2 we will get on the console. After that hello will be print or not? When it will be come into the catch block?
Exception is after that.
When exception will come into the try block, that time only it will come into the catch block. Otherwise it will not come into the catch block. So now we are getting the exception here.
No.
No, right? We are not getting any exception here. So can it will come into the finally block? Finally block will be executed at the all the times. We are getting here this time also 2 finally and the 2. Okay. So when finally will not execute, there are many cases that time finally will not execute. And what is the use of the finally? That all the things I will tell you tomorrow. Okay. So that is the thing for the tomorrow and today and today's assignment is that you have to create a program on the exception and that is the try and the catch. Okay. And you have to submit on the group. Okay, understand or any doubt?